Hello, folks. Welcome to Nateland. Started off with it this time. As always, I'm Nate, Aaron Weber, Brian Bates. Thank you guys for, as always, for listening. We got some nice merch this weekend.
Yeah.
I got a nice little hat, Nateland hat. Pretty good. If you're watching, you can see it. Who gave us this?
It's a guy, Tim Kohansky.
Yeah.
A fan of yours, fan of the podcast. He made that hat for. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good hat. It's the kind of hat I wear now.
Yeah.
And then also Kevin Best. We saw him this weekend. He came down. Big J was in town, and I know I said we were going to have Big J. We just weren't able to do it. You know, it's hard. Our setup it's not just always set up in this room, so we weren't able to do it. But I went down and hung out with Jay this weekend. He came over, and so it was good. And Kevin came down and made us some more shirts and then some pictures, which we have up right now, and or not picture, but a drawing art.
Yeah,
I feel like that's down. Like that's he gave us a new picture, and you're like, all right, it's a little more than that.
Give us a doodle. Yeah.
It's it's good. It was great. So we got that. Yeah, I mean he's also. I mean, as people don't know, he's the dead horse behind me.
Oh,
It's
I didn't
Kevin.
know that.
Yeah,
so that's a play on the Three Stooges.
yeah,
And do you even know who that is, Aaron? The Three Stooges.
Larry, Moe, and Curly.
yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never seen him. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything, but I know.
sometimes Shemp. Curly was he wasn't always there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
yeah. I remember Three Stooges. I mean,
It's like Mr. Bean.
yeah. Would Mr. Bean be your
Your Three
your
Stooges.
guy? That's your Three Stooges.
I think so. Is he not part of it? Is it a totally
I
different
feel like
thing?
mine would have. Is mine Ernest T. Bass? Like that's what I like. He's my kind of crazy guy. You have
Yeah.
Mr. Bean. He had Three Stooges. And Three Stooges. They came out during World War II, I think.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was the 40s.
Yeah. Did
Andy
you watch them?
Not live.
Yeah.
I've watched them.
Are
in
you listening to them on the radio?
syndication.
Yeah,
I like their humor.
would
about
all-
something.
Would y'all sit in the living room
Yeah.
and
By the radio.
cross-legged?
Yeah.
Just
Right after Little Orphan Annie.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good weekend. Good weekend of getting stuff, which I liked. Yes, we are going to start as always with the comments. We love reading you guys' comments. So first up, Marty Amerling. Marty Amerling. I thought it was a woman for some reason.
It could be.
Could be. Marty is a woman's name. Amerling sounds like a woman's last name. Is that? I don't know why that.
It kind of does.
It kind of does for some reason. Marty Amerling, when you see them together, you kind of go, ma'am. In late October of 2020, I was diagnosed with cancer. Sorry, Marty. Complete hopelessness and despair would be the only way I could describe how I felt. I couldn't crack a smile, sleep, or eat. I can't remember how, but I stumbled across your podcast as a recommendation in Spotify in late November. I'm finally caught up on all the episodes, and thanks to all of you, I've been happier and find myself smiling randomly when a random comment you made pops in my head. Going to bed used to be something I would dread as my mind would race. These nights, I just put on an episode and fall asleep with a smile on my face. I can't thank you all for what you've done for me. You're more than just a break from reality. You're lifesavers. Marty, thank you. And we just sorry about making fun of your name, Marty, but that's awesome. We hope you're doing great, man. That's the stuff. I love that.
Yeah, it's cool.
We get a lot of stuff like that, and that means the most. That's the hardest to do. To just just be dumb idiots.
Mhm.
Did you know we're
For 2 hours.
categorized as an educational podcast on Spotify?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I think
Ridiculous.
people learn some stuff. I think what you learn from this podcast is just some weird, like you say something at a party and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And then
Mhm.
that's it. That's what we're not, you're not going to be a professor after listening to this.
Right.
You're in a boring conversation.
But
You
then
gotta-
later they repeated at a party and someone said that, that's not true.
Yeah.
And
And you
find-
go, yeah, I don't know. Where'd you hear it? And they go, this podcast listen. And then they go watch it and they're like, this is who you're listening to? This is where you're getting your information from? I've been thinking about boring stuff. When people tell stories, to me, I don't know if it's my age, like if you're 40, or just me being a storyteller. But I mean, I'm always like, all right, we got to wrap.
Yeah.
I do not. If someone starts a story, I'm like, come on, I can't sit through this. And it's got to be a mix of you're older, and the older you get, you're just like time's a ticking. Like I know this story is going nowhere, but I think as a storyteller, I know that you're just trying to add in details
Mm-hmm.
that don't need to be there.
Mhm.
Like, because
Yeah.
details are funny, and that's what makes a story. But you got to know what details and when to put them,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to be interesting.
Yeah.
I've noticed it a lot lately. Like, someone starts a story with me, like just somewhere, and I'm like, all right. You just got to go, all right, where's this? Hey,
Yeah.
I'll stop. You got to stop and go, all right, what's the end game of this? Just get to the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone wants to tell a story, just get to it in just regular life, and then try it on people. You tell this story all the time. If you're telling a story at a party, try it first quick. Get to it quick. See if it gets a laugh. And then you can go back and add some detail. But
Then
you got
punch
to
it up, you know?
But you got to work from that way. Start quick and then expand. They start with the expanded version, and then they don't ever actually get it.
Was this about Marty's cancer story?
Marty? Little
where this
dragged
came from?
on there for a little bit, Marty. No, it sounds like we're really going after Marty, but we're not. It was when you said the boring. Someone said boring.
Mhm.
Whatever that's what made me think of it. And I thought of that this weekend.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Marty. Marty's the reason we do this podcast.
Yeah.
Tammy Dillon, Nate, Aaron, and Borat are absolutely hilarious. This week's Rhode Island episode was my favorite so far. Yeah, Roger Federer is in the back. If you want to go ask him some questions. But he's a talker. You could be here all day. I was laughing so hard at that I was crying, and my husband ran into the bedroom because he thought something was wrong. I couldn't catch my breath to tell him what I was laughing at. I've never laughed so hard in my life. Thank you, Tammy.
That was very
That's
funny.
fun. Yeah. I forgot what it was. No,
Just
but,
that. You
yeah.
said that. We're just talking about the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
Right.
yeah,
Roger Federer's there.
Federer's in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
He's a talker, though.
He's in the back. How you guys doing? You guys enjoying the
It'll be your
museum?
whole day.
And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, yeah. He greets us at the door. Okay. Yeah. It looks like it's lovely. You got to climb over a net to get in.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Some people can't get in because of that, and they don't change it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they go, you got to get over the net. You're like, I'm like older, I can't get my legs that high. And they go, guess you're not gonna see the International Tennis Museum today, then, aren't you? And they walk them right back out. Melissa Swain, just before Christmas break, I had the opportunity to introduce our 13-year-old son to the podcast. Now he's catching up by watching all the episodes on YouTube, and we're having a great time watching with him. Our 9-year-old daughter watches with us sometimes and feels it's her mission in life to come up with a new name for bacon bits every episode. She started a list she now makes me keep up with. I appreciate that Nateland is something we can share with the entire family without a sullen teen attitude. Sullen? Without a sullen teen attitude or one of us being embarrassed by the subject matter. Looking forward to learn more about the 50 states from the unique perspective of Nate, Aaron, and Bushel. Bushel's pretty good.
Those are good, yeah.
Bushel's, that's just, no one likes a bushel.
I wish I knew
A bushel of stuff.
I wish I knew her 9-year-old daughter.
If you had a
so I could
bushel
attack her.
bushel of Brian's, you're like, oh, God. Aaron Bronner. Haven't missed I think this could be an Aaron and Brian comment.
It does sound.
It sounds like y'all just made up your own.
I think
Haven't missed a podcast yet, but this one was by far my least favorite. Please don't do all 50 states. Maybe look up crazy stories in Florida and move to a new topic. That could be y'all. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate to tell you, Aaron, but there's a great chance we are doing maybe more than 50 states.
Puerto Rico.
I thought it was 52. I'm learning right now, Aaron, that's only 50. And so it's your lucky day because it's I've been convinced a few times that there's 52 states.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, you're like, how many are there?
There might be soon.
There might be soon, but you're just randomly like you think about it too much and you're like, are there 52? And then
I think I'm pretty set on 50, you know?
you're not,
There's
your mind's
50,
not open.
50 stars on the flag.
Yeah. Well, then you go, yeah, of course. You don't open your mind much.
Not in that way, no.
Well, you should.
Come on, Aaron. What are you doing, man?
The states are. It is. I mean, it's a commitment. We're not doing them every week, and that's what we talked about. If we wanted to do them, we didn't want to do too much. I get that it could be too crazy, but again, as always, this is the. We're just trying to do stuff to make jokes off of, and this is a good thing to look at. Obviously, we kind of learned some stuff from these states, which is kind of fun. And if you get to hear your state, I'm sure Aaron hears his state, and then he'll be excited.
I bet he lives in Florida.
But he lives in
Yeah,
Florida.
he just wants some Florida stories.
He just wants some Florida. How about you learn about some of these states?
Right.
The steamrollers are in Rhode Island. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Would have never known that. Someone else said, I know you have it in here, but I kept thinking about it. Like someone was like, I wish I got my 2 hours of my life back. That idea that people say that, people say that a lot, where you want to go, what are you doing? What is happening in your life? What would you have done with those 2 hours? Like, what do you have going on where we all, stop listening.
Yeah.
Who gets to the end of the 2 and goes, I wish I could have that hours. Boy, you need to be a better decision maker.
I feel like most people are doing something when they're listening to this, right? They're doing the
Not that
dishes,
guy.
they're driving, they're mowing the lawn. This guy's just sitting with his arms crossed.
Just marks off that day is, did you get after every day? I tried. I couldn't because I had a lot of days wasted on me. I love the idea. That's a very saying that a lot of people say to, wish I could have 10 minutes of my life, but it's a funny put down. And it's, you always, what is everybody doing?
Right.
Well, how active is your life that you're
really need that 10 minutes?
You need it back.
Yeah.
You're like, we did you a favor. Not everything's fun. Rob Rhinesmith. That's how this podcast is. Not everything's good. And that's what we do here at Nateland. Rob Rhinesmith, you have to do part 2 of Rhode Island. I mean, I think Rob's going too far. Providence Mayor Buddy Cianci. Oh, you spell Providence Mayor Buddy Cianci. His name's Buddy Cianci.
Are the people writing these out phonetically, or are you going?
I'm trying to do it to help him out, but I messed up. Sorry.
Buddy Cianci.
Yeah. Somehow made it worse.
Was involved with the mafia. Was arrested while mayor for killing a guy with a piece of firewood. Served his sentence, and then got elected mayor again. Students at Brown University would invite him to parties, and he would go. A couple of the students made a musical about his life. They made a song about his wife, who they named Nancy Ann. They made her Nancy Ann Cianci. Nancy Ann Cianci.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. That is crazy.
Yeah, I missed that totally. And so I looked him up, and he didn't kill a guy with the fire, but he did torture him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy was messing around with his wife, supposedly. They'd separated, but Buddy got a hold of him, had a cop guard the door, and burned him with a cigarette and beat him with a fire log.
Then went to jail and then got elected mayor again. That's maybe that's a mayor you want. And that guy means business.
And got convicted a second time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's the second time he got convicted for racketeering and went to jail for 5 years.
Wow. So the students at Brown University read that in the paper and were like,
yes,
we got to get this guy to come party with us.
Well, that makes me like Brown University. The fact, that's what I'm talking about. Open your mind. That's what you go talk to. You go talk to a regular mayor that's going to go, here's the normal things that you say all the time.
I agree.
Or a mayor that's going to walk in and put a cigarette out on your own Brown University floor.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, you can't smoke. And you're not even going to think to tell him you can't smoke in here because it's obviously he can't.
Right.
He doesn't even have the attitude. You wouldn't even have the opening to go, we don't smoke inside. And he's like,
this guy was a legend. I mean,
what year was this?
I think he started in he was a political on the rise in the 70s. He spoke at the 1976 Republican convention.
Yeah.
There was some talk about him being vice president. And then he did some crazy stuff. He ran for Senate in his own state, even though they already had a Republican candidate. He's like, well, I'm just going to run.
Yeah.
As the Republican
Doesn't
candidate.
matter. What does it matter? He doesn't care. Wow.
He just did some crazy. He started in between the time he was sentenced to the time he went to jail. He started his own radio show.
Oh, really? This guy rules, This guy shows up to play beer pong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old
buddy.
buddy.
Is he still alive?
No, he died a few years ago. He was running for mayor for the third time after he got out of jail.
Yeah.
And then I think he died
Or he
About-
would
about
still
5
be
years.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that is a mayor. I think every however in your government that you have of every state, you should have one of them
Mm-hmm.
just somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter where it's at in the rankings. Just bring one buddy's CNC. You need one guy that's in there that's like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen,
Just a wild card, man.
Just a wild card.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett McDonald. I listened to the pod on my way home from coaching a middle school basketball game that we lost in the last seconds. The pod had me back in a great mood on the way back. It also had me thinking I should have checked myself into the game. I wasn't aware that was something a person could do. Keep up the great work, folks. Yeah, just get in, dude. I mean, like, I'm gonna tell you who would get in there, Buddy CNC. Because Garrett, you could get in, and if they go, you can't get in, you're like, is there a rule that's saying that? They're gonna go, I guess probably not. And then you're just in the game, and
I'm activating myself.
Rob Cruz, my buddy and I went to a Wendy's in Providence and were victims of a hilarious and well orchestrated fast food heist. It was one of those double window system locations. So as we pulled up to the first window, we noticed a couple sitting in a car next to us in the parking lot. Not thinking about it, we paid for our food, and with incredible timing and precision, they sped up to the second window and snatched our food. They flew out of the lot through a red light. Multiple cars swerved out of the way and almost crashed like a movie bank robbery. Sitting in disbelief, my buddy and I, without saying a word, slowly turned to each other and just bust out laughing. We pulled to the second window, and the cashier just looked at us and said, "They jacked your food, huh?" More of the story is Providence is a crazy city, more than people would think. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of that they're going to do that. I mean, no one sees them pull. I guess you're like, why are they pulling in?
Mm-hmm. Weird that they steal the food as it's being handed to and not the money.
But how would they get the money?
But the police are going to get called with money. Food, I bet you
just let it
chalk
slide,
it up
I guess.
What are you going to do?
What do you mean? How would they grab the money? The same way they grab the food. They run up and.
But the money's done at the first window.
Yeah.
You got to give them money before they're going to give you some back.
So once they get paid, they pull in front of you. So then when they hand you food, they just hand it to a car.
Oh, wow. I think I tapped out when you were reading that. I thought they were running up and grabbing it and then running away.
They're in the car.
Yeah.
They're in their car and they just swoop in.
Yeah. Swoop in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of respect it.
You're trying to change on it. Maybe if you tap out, don't chime in with anything about it. Because we're back to just where we started. You're going, oh, I actually kind of liked it. You're like, okay, yeah, maybe listen to the whole thing. Sorry, these are boring. Sorry about that, Rob. Aaron can't handle it. You got a long day ahead of him. Bobby McComas, is this? You wish you'd had? I wish I would have had my whatever minute you wasted of my time back. Everybody that listens to this podcast agrees that Aaron wasted minutes. We're all going to count down all the minutes wasted.
I'm sorry.
Bobby McComas. Hello, folks. I cannot express how much joy your podcast brings to my life. I've never experienced laughing tears so much and hope it continues for at least another 50 states. I wanted to see if you were aware of a spurious correlations. Of spurious
correlations.
Spurious. That's how you get me.
Yeah.
You get me on kind of a front word.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I don't see it. It's like before you get punched and a guy's like waving his fist like this in a circle, and I'm like, "What is you gonna hit me with that fist?" And I never see the other fist, and I'm like, "Oh, there it is." When Nate correlated, you're using a lot of that word. When Nate correlated life expectancy to Walmart opening, it was the first thing that came to my mind. Some people have made a living looking at completely unrelated topics and then make charts to show the similarities. Every time Nate comes up with an unlikely reason for something going on in the world, I'm reminded of the spurious correlations of the world. I have attached a couple of the charts from this website. On the flip side, I love Seinfeld references. I once bet to drop 10 Seinfeld references into a presentation to the review group that grants funding from our organization. I won the bet, but did not receive any additional funding. So he put charts up.
Yeah, you have those, Aaron?
Yeah, you sent them.
They're very funny. These are basically graphs that are trying to make it's just like your Walmart and life expectancy. Some of these are very funny. So the first one there, U.S. spending on science, space, and technology and correlates with suicides by hanging, strangulation, and suffocation.
Oh, like it goes together.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
you can make an argument. Well, see,
Yeah.
when spending on space
We have
ramped up,
more hangings
Yeah.
and suffocations.
yeah,
Dude, this is crazy.
number of people who drowned by falling into a pool correlates with films Nicolas Cage appeared in.
I mean, this is unbelievable, dude. Like, how are they? We're going to post all this stuff.
This is another one.
I mean, this is crazy, dude. Like, everything can correlate with everything. Bed sheet tanglings, per capita cheese consumption correlates with number of people who died by becoming tangled in their bed sheets.
Wow.
So if you eat the most cheese, you have the greatest chance. I mean, this is something they would read on the news and it would be factual.
Right.
They don't eat a lot of cheese. If you feel you're in a house that's eating cheese, just be aware one of you might get caught up in your bed sheets and you ain't gonna make it out. Divorce rate in Maine correlates with per capita consumption of margarine, so butter. So they eat so much butter, which would make that leads to divorce. It's gassy, doesn't butter?
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
What's the difference of margarine and regular butter? Just
Margarine's cheaper. I know that, right?
yeah. I don't know. I thought margarine was nice, the fancier butter.
I thought so too.
I think I'd rather have margarine.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
But his point is that
Yeah, that's great.
you can find two things and put them with anything and make an argument for.
Yeah. And then just be like, this is the problem. Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny ones.
Yeah.
Margarine is a highly processed food product made from vegetable oils, while butter is basically concentrated dairy fat.
Yeah, butter's healthier. Margarine's
But margarine is designed to imitate butter. It's like the cheap knockoff.
It's not cheap. I think it's the real deal. Here's next commenter. Mary Margarine. Golly, you should have asked her. Her name's Margaret, but I got an advertisement for a prescription medicine for gout after listening to this episode. The advertising algorithms are now categorized your listeners as gout sufferers. This is the direction your podcast is headed. Congrats. We are the podcast of the gout. That's, dude, so they're just getting, that's funny.
That's so funny.
Because if Aaron's gout, I guess we all got it.
I'm still getting comments.
Yeah, a lot of people are
man.
still worried about you.
Did you
Still
get
getting
checked out?
comments. Somebody hit me up and said I'll get you an appointment with a doctor, a listener on the podcast.
Are you going to?
Yeah, I'm gonna call
So
them
you-
this week and set it up. They gave me the phone
Oh.
number and everything. I'll go in.
Oh.
I got a few things I want looked at, so we'll go.
Yeah, they're going to gout. Gout's the least of our problems. So they gonna worry about what jacket you gonna wear.
Got your hat picked
You
out?
excited? I mean, you got to go in looking good, dude. You're
Yeah.
gonna be the Nateland podcast. You can't
Uh-huh.
just go like a typical doctor.
I got the
visit.
NASCAR jacket.
You might have to. They might
Yeah,
want to
man.
see it. You know, they're
They're
giving
going to
you
tell
a
you
free.
to join a gym.
Yeah.
Oh
You'll
god.
be like, I just canceled.
Somebody said that you can call and just say you're scared of COVID, and then you
Oh.
can cancel over the phone. So I might do that
Yeah.
this week
Yeah, you should.
and just be
Weren't
like,
you go do it last week?
Every week.
listen, I had a lot of plans last week.
You're the definition of how they're a company. How they are staying open is just you've publicly talked about canceling this for 3 weeks now, and you still haven't done it.
Yeah, it's
I mean, that's how much they got
it's
you
been
guys.
4 years, man.
I know,
This
but
is
it's
how it
funny to
happens.
go, all right, well, you go talk about it to all these people listening. Everybody's listening. We're all hearing you say it. It's not like you're privately is one thing. You
Yeah.
just keep,
And
I don't-
every week he has a new way to maybe do it easier.
yeah. You know what they said? Smallpox is making a comeback. And so just call and say,
I forget until I show up here, and then that's how it happens. I go, I'll do it this week.
how much
Yeah.
is it? $10 a month?
$10 a month, and then like 60 a year or something.
Oh.
So it's been several years. That ad's been adding up.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
and there's a ton of views. Their whole company's based on you.
It really is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should walk in there with some, like, well, I'm the one that's keeping the lights on. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see my investment. Michael, as for the Prohibition Amendment, in order for any amendment to become law, it only needs to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. If a state chooses not to ratify an amendment and that amendment is ratified by the required number, then the state still has to follow the law. Rhode Island and Connecticut did not ratify the 18th Amendment. I like the word ratify. It's in there a bunch.
So he's basically saying, even though Rhode Island did not vote for prohibition,
Yeah.
3/4 of the states did, so it passed, so they still got to honor it. So it wasn't like they were just boozing it up in Rhode Island.
Oh, they still had to honor it,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't?
They didn't vote for it, but
Yeah.
3/4 of the states or more, well, more than that.
Yeah.
You only need 3/4 of the states to vote for to pass the amendment, and then
Yeah.
it's just like voting. Even if you didn't vote for a candidate, if that candidate won, that's still your person.
Yeah, it's still the person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Kind of checked out on that one, to be honest. I got really focused on the word ratify. I just kept looking and go, there it is again. Ratified. Tucker Emerson. I almost said Emerson, but it's for Tucker. I almost said it again. Emerson. Nate's unwavering confidence in himself is unbelievably funny. When Aaron told him he wasn't quite qualified to be an adjunct professor, Nate was blatantly offended, even though 2 minutes earlier he stated he didn't know what adjunct meant. This was after asking the age-old question, what's an art school? I still don't know what adjunct means, but I don't see why I can't do it. I'm going to tell you what, you know who did a lot of stuff? Buddy CNC. And I operate like him mostly. Just sitting there. You just do whatever you want. You just go in. That's with every rule. You could really just go in and go, but why is this a rule? And everybody would go, I don't know.
Yeah.
The rules have been made so long ago
Mm-hmm.
that we could just show up and go, I don't think we can do that. And they'd be like, okay, that's fine. An adjunct professor, I still don't know what it means. What did it mean?
It means like it's not your main thing. It's a supplementary job.
Yeah.
You're like a visiting professor.
You have an expertise in a field,
yeah.
so you can speak on it, but you're not employed by that university.
It doesn't sound very, because that's a kind of a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound cool. I think there'd be a better adjunct professor. Sounds like, all right. Hope things get better for you, man. Like, that's what I would say to someone if they, what do you do? I'm an adjunct professor. And you're like, all right, do you think one day you'll be a full professor? Or that's what I would say to them. And I'd go, I don't know, that guy is an idiot. He's an adjunct professor. He's a junkie. And now we're 4 people removed from going, he's a drug addict. Because he keeps walking. Do people introduce themselves as that?
I don't know if they go around and introduce themselves.
Do they say before he walks in, here today we're having an adjunct professor?
No, you just no. I don't think no. You don't go. Hi, I'm adjunct professor Nate Bargatze.
So why is the word even?
Because that's what they're called. You know.
So I know, but when they go to the class, they go, "Hello, we are having an adjunct professor today."
Well, if it's a tenured professor, they don't. Hi, I'm tenured professor Bob.
I know, but that's a professor. That's his job.
An adjunct professor is a visiting professor.
I know. So if you're sitting in your class, and then you have one of these guys come, does your regular professor go, by the way, today we have an adjunct?
It's not like
professor.
a substitute teacher.
Yeah, like they go, today I'm a substitute teacher. Do they go, hello, this is an adjunct professor? Do they go, this guy's a traveling professor? He's a
circus clown.
Yeah, he's like a clown that goes, hello, I'm here to talk about gout. Oh, this guy knows a lot about gout. Knows too much about it, to be honest. He limps in.
Traveling professor. That's so funny.
I just see him park his car. He pops his trunk open. He's got the bar that hangs all his jackets in the back seat because he's traveling around.
Yeah.
What jacket are you gonna wear today? Where'd you sleep at last night? Slept in my car. Barely made it here. It's like a dude doing gigs.
Ronald McDonald.
I was in Michigan last night. I had to drive through the night and barely got in. Where's the class at? It's right there. Michael McIntosh. Hello, folks. Shout out to Nate, Aaron, Webfoot, and Brokeback Munchkin. Oh, Aaron Webfoot and Brokeback Munchkin. Love all 3 of you and the staff too. I'm from the UK, so it's hard to relate to state facts, but I'm learning a lot. Like New Jersey has the most Gregs. Could you shout out Siobhan, the mother of my 20-month-old twins, and ask her to marry me? would be a great start to my year. Siobhan, marry this man. He's going to get married. I mean, we hope.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about him.
Well, but I mean, he's made it to here. Maybe she's not happy with this.
Yeah.
But the mother of her 20-month-old twins.
So they should get married.
They should get married.
Yeah.
They have a nice family.
Yeah.
So I hope she does it.
Yeah.
Let us know. We're going to find out. Either way, you got to
yeah.
let us know.
I hope she listens to the podcast.
She's going to go, hello, this is Siobhan.
I think he sounds like a great guy.
I left him. He was an adjunct professor, and the job was real hit and miss. And me and my young twins moved on and found a tenured professor. Either way, that's awesome. Congrats, you guys. I hope
we'll
I
see.
hope you made it. We will see.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. With the new year, everybody's trying to eat better. I've been eating better. I've actually did really good this week.
Yeah.
And I even, for health, breakfasts are tough. Breakfast is tough. You want to make eggs? You want to get up? I know it's a whole thing. I don't want to make a bunch of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Laura doesn't do that. And so I'm not going to get eggs.
Yeah.
Sometimes Laura wants eggs. Sometimes she doesn't. But what we do both want is cereal. And so Magic Spoon has this great cereal. And they have, I mean, all the flavors that you could want. They have fruity, cocoa, frosted, blueberry. All of them are. I'm a big cocoa fan. I love cereal. Cereal is super easy to eat. You also need to eat healthy cereal. I mean, I feel so much better. I've been eating so bad lately. I actually ate bad this weekend. And then now to get back on a regular routine is you feel the difference. You're not tired.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty nuts. Y'all have eaten it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So
The cereal?
you ate well? You've been eating well? Or
I
you
ate well. I ate well this weekend.
Right.
Oh, you did eat?
I did eat well this week.
I thought you said
Not
you-
this weekend, but I ate well all last week.
Oh, okay. I had Magic Spoon last week, and it was great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My instinct is when I hear something is good for you is just to think, oh, this tastes terrible.
Yeah.
But I had some of it, and I was like, this is
It's good.
This is the real
It's good
McCoy.
cereal, dude. That's
It
the
is
deal.
good. Yeah.
You just want you're not going to think about breakfast. That's what I've learned. The key to not eat bad, truly, if you don't want to eat bad, what I've figured out is you can't just sit there and wonder what you want to eat. You just need to have a routine. And this is an easy routine to do. It's just to pour the cereal and eat it. It's 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. Go to magicspoon.com/Nate to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code Nate at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. That is magicspoon.com/Nate and use the code Nate to save $5 off. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast. So yeah, I have been getting healthy. I've been working out. I'm doing good. Last week was good. I could tell because I don't eat. I know people are probably going to, you want to eat good now. It's the beginning of the year. I'm trying to, I have been working out. I've been eating. I went to McDonald's this weekend. And I was like, my weekends was like, I go crazy. And I just go.
But did you pull back at McDonald's, or was it the normal order?
No, it was normal. Extra cheeseburger, number one with an extra cheeseburger. Yeah. No onions.
With the side sandwich?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I was trying to do, I just big fast. I like fast food. I'll never not eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
I just won't do it. You just don't do it as much, but I love it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I went there and then had a McFlurry, and then even had a Sonic Blast last night. I mean, this weekend was went after it. The whole week was good though. So then I just get back to it. But you can tell the difference. That's what's so crazy. You feel, like everybody always feels tired. Or people always say they're tired. It's because you could tell when you just eat better. And it's not like I'm eating that crazy of a thing. I went and just bought like steaks and like grilled them and then cut them up and been eating them with salad or, then put some chicken in a crock pot. And then you just have it for the whole week. You pre-make it and then you can make burritos and you just heat them up real fast. And so it's like that idea of like for me, it's just eating at home is a giant thing. Just eat it. Like when I talked to the guy about eating better, he's like, we just want you to eat at home.
Yeah.
I'm not like measuring stuff. I'm not being because I'll never do that stuff. I've got to wean myself off. But you can tell. This still sounds like it's bad for me. It's not, but it's like I'm just saying. I know people like I get it. I get how brutal it is to eat good, and after this week of eating good, you can just feel it. Like you eat bad, you get tired, you crash off the food, like almost like a sugar high. Then you crash, and then usually you crash by the time you're about to eat again. So I would eat if I'm eating McDonald's 3 times a day. It's like then you eat it again, you know. And then you feel okay, and then you get tired again. You realize you're like, oh, that's why I'm tired all day because I'm not putting any fuel.
Right.
Honestly, you're just not eating enough.
Yeah.
Most people that they don't, if they eat bad, they don't eat
And
enough.
if you're eating healthy, you start to crave healthy food, right? You start to want that.
Yeah, you just don't. You don't want to feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I always felt that with drinking. Like if I think about, anytime you think about drinking again, I just think about like, well, how are you going to feel that next day?
Yeah.
And you don't want that. And so then that helps you stop a lot of things. But if you go eat healthy and then go eat bad, you will feel like, oh, I actually feel this food makes me tired. Now, I've still got to train that into me. Like, trust me, I could go eat McDonald's right now. Like, I'm not saying all this is out of me. But I could really feel it this weekend that you go, oh, it makes me just, that tiredness and that kind of like, whatever feeling, puts you in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Food is pretty wild. I mean, I know there's someone listening to this that's healthy that's like idiots, but I mean, most people don't know.
Right.
I think most people. I didn't know. Most people. I didn't. I just never. I just ate. I don't think about food. I'm not like the biggest food. I'm not a foodie. You eat to eat, and it's going good.
Good.
Then these fat losers, you're not like me that's just start attacking y'all. I'm gonna come in here ripped and go, oh God. Here you go, Nate. Hey, welcome to the Nateland. I'm Nate Bargatze sitting here with Gout 1 and Gout 2. They got them in their hands.
He's like, eating healthy makes you a better person. It really does. It's just mean to us.
It goes, you know what? It makes you appreciate life more.
What'd you two hogs eat this weekend?
Yeah, what did you go? I'd be surprised y'all even make it in every week. So speaking of which, this week we're going to talk about Rhode Island Part 2. No, we're mixing it up. We are still going to keep doing states. So we will get to more and more states. And look, if there's an overwhelming, y'all hate this state, you can tell us and we won't do it. I wouldn't even be mad because I don't know if it's going to be annoying to hear about all these kind of states. But, so yeah, I know that we comments, some guys are being funny, some guys are serious, sometimes they're not, but we kind of weigh it out to be like, do you like the states? Do you not like the states? Maybe we can put a poll up and see. We'll probably do a couple more, then we can, after a couple more, then let's fill it out and see what you guys think. If we won't do them every week. But I think it could be.
But I'll say I knew nothing about Rhode Island going into that, and I feel like I know a lot about it now.
Yeah, I think it's good when you go travel to it. It's like you'll be like, oh, I've learned. They had a mayor here that shot a guy.
Yeah, it's going to be more fun, I think, when we start comparing some of these states.
Yeah,
start seeing some trends and things like that.
People are like, oh god. You're like, once we get to talk about the states together, people are like, oh my god, I wish I could have my 1 second back. That's what you should ask for, just seconds.
I just need one.
I need 2 seconds. Can you give me those 2 seconds back? I'm not greedy, but how do I get those 2 seconds back? This week we're gonna talk about inventions.
Yeah.
Inventions.
Doing research on this, it reminded me a little bit of the Best Time to Be Alive episode we did a few weeks ago, because you read about some of these inventions that changed history, and you're like, I'm glad we have this, because before this existed, life was not as good.
Yeah.
For sure. You guys have already basically laid out your greatest invention: toilet, air conditioning. I think we both could see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stand by that.
Air conditioning
over the toilet.
And do you think you'll change our mind going through some of these?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to try.
I still don't know the air conditioner over the toilet. It's just
you're still gonna say
I
toilet?
think you don't need air conditioning all year.
Yeah, I think
And then toilet is, it's just a mess, dude. It's a mess.
Literally a mess.
It's literally a mess that you have to deal with. How long can you, just in your I think I think when you get down into it, you would
Uh-huh.
then change your mind. Is what I was. Yeah.
I mean, I like them both.
I like them both
I'm
too.
just saying.
Air conditioning is great. I get it,
Yeah.
but you could go stand in a cool cave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
If you let's just go down to a cave, and it always feels great.
Uh-huh.
Where's Aaron? He's in a cave. You know how he gets during these summer months. That's what they would
Just open a window.
Just they go. Where's Aaron at? He's in a cave. He drove an hour out to this cave, and he's just sitting in the dark. And he's just like, oh, it feels so good.
We have cars
Yeah.
in this scenario, but no AC still.
No ACs, no toilets, but
I got a car.
But you got a car and you drove down in this cave.
What would you guys guess was the first invention ever?
The wheel.
Oh, you know what? No, I looked up inventions once, trying to write a joke about them. Is it I don't think it's the wheel. It wouldn't be fire. I mean, I would almost say lever.
A lever.
Like a pulley or a lever, maybe.
Like a fulcrum.
What?
Like
what's a fulcrum?
Like a seesaw thing.
Oh yeah,
that kind of.
Is that what they say? Is that what you said?
Fulcrum be the thing in the middle.
Is that what you say when you go ride as a kid? You're just a fun kid. You guys want to go fulcrum? And everybody's like, oh god. Yeah, that's why. Do you remember riding the fulcrum a lot alone? Is it that? Is it because that's how you described a lot of stuff? Hey, do you guys want to go ride the fulcrum? And they go, I don't.
Anybody want a fulcrum?
We're gonna just swing.
I mean, that is what it is, right? Anyway, was it the wheel?
It was not the wheel. The wheel came on a little bit later. Stone tools were the very first invention by anthropologists.
Pulley was a pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
That's a good stone tools to make stuff with and hit people with.
Yeah.
Fire was right up there. Fire, they say, is the greatest invention of all time.
Yeah.
It was more like a discovery.
Yeah.
First guy who.
Oh, I mean, the first one that came. When did it happen?
I mean,
yeah, we don't.
125,000 years ago, they said.
Yeah.
You've got the great joke about. Yeah.
Who knows how? There's no way of.
You've got the great joke about if you went back in time, you don't even know if you could prove you're from the future. Is there anything you guys think you could invent if you went back in time?
I that was part of another joke that I had, was thinking, how far would I have to go before we could have an invention that I think I could invent?
Yeah.
And it's pretty, I mean, like a harpoon is, I forget when a harpoon was made, but a harpoon was like an invention that you're like, I don't think I can make a harpoon, because you can make a sword, but a harpoon, it's got to shoot it.
Yeah.
So
you can make a sword?
No, I'm saying anybody can make a sword, but a harpoon's got to shoot it. So you got to build the thing that shoots the harpoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I'm saying why you couldn't make a harpoon.
Yeah.
You think you could because you make the sharp part, but you couldn't make the shooting thing.
Right.
And then
I don't even think I can make the sharp part.
I mean, you don't think you could sharpen a stick?
With what?
A rock.
Yeah, a rock or something. I mean, I'm just saying what you could invent.
Yeah, I mean, could you make a fire out of nothing?
Right now?
Well, if you were stranded on an...
I think I could figure... I mean, I've watched a lot of survival shows.
Uh-huh.
I at least would know the idea to try to... I think it would take me forever. Not saying it would ever happen, but I would... If you walked over, you would be like, that guy looks like he's trying to start a fire.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be just... climbing up, just like rubbing a tree with my chest, like, and you're like, no one knows. If people walk up to you and you're
they turn around.
You go, could you start a fire? You go, well, I mean, you'd be able to tell that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Does that count for anything?
So I think I'm a head start.
Yeah.
Do you think you would even look like you were trying to start a fire? Or would they go, sir, what is your end goal here? And if you go fire, they're like, oh my God, this guy. Wow.
I think I would try to rub two sticks together.
Yeah.
Like you would just be
friction.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Right.
But you got to get like a bark. You get bark, and then you put it between your toes, and then you rub like there, and you just go back and forth, and you get smoke very easy, and it's hard to get the actual like coal or the
Yeah.
And then you got to get that over, and you got to have tinder or tinder, right? Tinder.
I think they canceled Tinder.
Yeah. Did they?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
What is it called? It's not
Kindle?
Kindle
Or kindling?
Yeah, but you get like a little.
Yeah.
I would say Tinder. I'd say, hand me the Tinder. And so there'd be a minute of that, the person going, what?
That conversation.
That conversation of going, what are you talking about? And he goes, you know what I meant. And I would get mad because I go, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Is this the time? Is this the time? I'm building a fire for you.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd figure it out. It would take a while.
Yeah.
But I'd get the fire. I could do stone tools. I'd figure that out.
Yeah.
You're talking about going back in time. Yeah. That we know all that we know now. Yeah. I could.
It's just chipping
sharpen
away
a
stuff.
rock.
But I mean, it would have to be that basic for me, and it still would
Right.
take me a long time to do
Yeah.
it. I couldn't make
Yeah.
a harpoon or a sword.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, forging stuff.
No.
No, I can't do any of that.
No. So fire, they say, is the greatest invention. It gave us warmth, protection. It led to a lot of inventions, but the biggest thing is cooking.
It led to a lot of inventions just because of the light that they could see something. They're like,
Yeah.
Probably.
and it led to the wheel. You're like, how did that? You're like, just to see, because to work at night was huge. I mean,
So this Vanderbilt University neuroscience
anchor
scientist
down.
says that our human brains are not exceptional. We're basically like primate brains. The only difference is we've learned how to cook food, which gives us enough nutrients to let our brain get the energy to expand.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for cooking food, we would never have evolved. That's what they say, because our brains have energy, are energy hungry, and they need the calories.
That's easy to say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Sounds like an adjunct professor.
Yeah.
if you ask
I
me.
mean, that would be what an adjunct professor would come in and they go, wow. See, everybody just always sits there and goes, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have made it if we didn't have fire. And she's like, I don't. You know.
She says if we couldn't cook and we had to eat the raw food, we'd have to spend 9.5 hours every day eating enough food to survive.
But back then, that's all you had to do. You didn't have meetings and you didn't have to, the birthday party. No one even, we got to go, dude. I don't know. What are you guys doing? Well, I got to go help my buddy move. We're gone all day. And you're like, you just didn't have all that. You just, your whole thing, it's like an animal.
Yeah.
They're just like, your whole thing is, I got to eat, simpler times.
Just eat all day, huh? Pretty much. 9.5 hours.
Kind of grazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like a cow.
You think anybody was fat?
I mean,
Look up when gout was invented.
Invented.
Was it around the candy bar stage? Was it?
spurious correlations as it was.
Yeah. Does gout and Snickers sales prices kind of go together?
The wheel was the next big invention, 3500 BC. The wheel was pretty important, but it wasn't the wheel that was so hard to make. People figured out how to make a round thing roll. It was the axle to attach to it. That really is the important part. Because then
kind of the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Because then they could build carts, and that changed everything. Now you can start transporting stuff. You can go greater distances because you can ride.
When you think about it, what do you think about when you picture just one guy has a cart and everybody's like, wow. You see the Johnsons over there? He's got, I don't know what he's got.
Got in his driveway over there.
Yeah, what does he got? Have you seen him? He went the other day. I go, where'd you go? He goes, I went over to the river and back. And I go, you made it back this quick? It's usually like a 2-day trek. He goes, I just took my cart.
There's not even a word for it.
Yeah, he goes, I just took my my 4-wheel thing. We just went, put a horse on the front of it. And he goes, right there and back.
Do they have a hole in the middle of it? And then just like, that's how I would do it.
Yeah.
A hole in the middle and then just a stick across.
That's how you would do it?
That's how I would do it.
I mean, I'm sure it was pretty simple. Basic at the beginning, the axle.
Right.
But it needs to be in the middle. That's kind of important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you put it on the edge, it is not going to roll well.
I mean, just to watch the families that are not getting it, I picture all these families have to invent this for themselves.
Yeah.
Or then the guy starts selling them. But yeah, he
how do you sell a shape though?
bananas, fruit. That guy doesn't have to go hunt for food anymore. You want this?
Right.
Then give me some hay.
Yeah.
How much grain you gonna give me?
Oh, you'd bring the fruit and say,
no, I'm saying that's how he goes, do you want me to make you a cart with 4 wheels? And then you got to give him, and this is how.
But I'm just saying, once you see a wheel, you're like, oh, I'll just make that myself. You're not like, how do I do that, dude? It's just a shape.
I know, but the whole hassle. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that you buy. You buy bottled water.
Yeah.
So I mean, there had to be lazy people that were like, I don't want to go
But I mean, I thought we
make
just
one wheel, and then you're like, I gotta make 3 more of these.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I know how to do it. I'll do it quicker if you just go give me some.
Okay.
But could you build
pineapple.
one right now that put an axle to it?
I could shape a rock into a wheel. It'd take a long time.
It would take a long time.
It would take a long time.
But the problem is like the tools. Once
you look, you don't think so, huh?
No.
if you had nothing, if they just gave you a rock and then you have to, like basically they go walk you out in the desert. They go, here's a rock, make that a wheel, and then they leave you. You don't have anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like how do you do that? What tool do you go get to start chipping that rock away?
Get another rock,
Yeah.
and you just
It's just a
chip
long
away
yeah.
at it.
There's a point that you would go, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you're gonna be out there for.
But also,
a
these
year.
people aren't just in the middle of nowhere in the desert. They're living where people lived.
Yeah,
You
know, they got a town. There's a Walmart that's not doing that good because no one can get there. And then the Walmart just shows up, and then they're how are you gonna get here? We got a guy. I heard a guy's making a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word gout was first used in 1200 AD, by the way. So it's been around a
Shakespeare.
while.
Shakespeare, yeah.
A little before him. But,
Yeah.
The compass was very important. Before the compass, people like explorers, they navigated by the stars, but they didn't work during the day or on cloudy nights.
Yeah.
It's like Kramer in his time.
What at night? It's a little bit tougher, but it can be with guests within 2 hours. A couple hours.
Once the Chinese invented the compass, then they could start traveling long distances and not get lost. So that changed everything as far as the age of discovery.
Yeah. And then they had a map. What about a map?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make a map? You just walk and you go, there's like mountains here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just draw and you go, there's like stuff over there.
You just really trust the guy who wrote it.
It was a very basic map.
Yeah.
It's just basically like you ever watch Naked and Afraid, they always show a map and it's like, no, there's snakes over there. Apparently there's one alligator right there. That's my joke. If I ever go Naked and Afraid, you ever see the map, they always have one snake and then one alligator over here. And I'm like, all right, we're going to avoid those two. Just avoid one snake and one alligator.
We're good.
And we're good. And that's how I would break the tension.
Gunpowder. Gunpowder was invented in the 9th century, also in China. It changed the way military technology happened. I mean, human history as far as battles.
Yeah.
This is the biggest, maybe one of the biggest ones, the printing press. Printing press was the internet before the internet. It was invented by Gutenberg in 1440. And before the printing press, we had no access to information except what people told you. Books had to be written by hand. There was no way to.
Could argue we're back to that. Just people, it's still information people tell. They're just telling you.
The Bible changed the Bible because before that, the Catholic Church wasn't a fan. Did you know
the
that?
printing press?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Because few people could read basically anyway, and had access to the Bible and books of scripture. So priests or monks would read it to you and basically tell you what it said and what it should be doing.
Yeah.
But then once the printing press came along, they started printing it in mass quantities, and it changed everything. People started reading for themselves. They started coming up with their own ideas. They couldn't squash an idea because they were spreading around. They would try to squash an idea, but now 10 more people have access to it.
It's basically, it is the internet. Like the internet's like that, where it's like they need to they got to try to rail people in and like all this stuff. Yeah.
They would call somebody a heretic and just try to get rid of them, but 10 more people would pop up.
That's a big word they're using because they know people can't read.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're a heretic. You're like, it doesn't even hurt my feelings because I don't even know what it means.
It was also a cost thing too, right? I mean, I imagine owning a Bible before the printing press was like owning a boat. Like only wealthy people had them. So then once you can print it really cheap,
first
then
2 days
all the peasants can get it.
Which the best 2 days of buying a Bible? Day you get it, day you sell it. It's the same. That's what they would say about it. Yeah.
Bust out another 1,000. That's what they say about the Bible.
Yeah.
So the Protestant Reformation basically started because of the printing press. Martin Luther read, the Bible, had a lot of problems with the Catholic Church, wrote 95 problems, put it on the door, and things went crazy.
And committed heresy.
Yeah. Aaron's not a fan, but
I'm just kidding. He's
worked
fine.
out pretty well for you and I.
Yeah.
So
I'm not really aware of who we're talking about, but it's Martin Luther King Day, so I'm kind of focused on that.
it's a different Martin Luther, but also important.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the printing press changed everything because then people could start reading for themselves. Newspapers started, everything. People
I
started.
feel like an adjunct professor sitting at the lunchroom of two professors that work there, and y'all are just making local jokes to each other. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, what are you here for? You're like, I'm just giving a little quick speech today, and then I'm getting out of here. Got to drive to Ohio tomorrow. Going to community college. Speaking of lunch.
Well, all the denominations of churches that broke off from the Catholic Church kind of started after this.
After the printing press.
Yeah, once more people start reading and they come up with their own ideas or problems they have, and then they're like, well, let's do this or let's do this.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like the internet before the internet.
Yeah.
But it changed the world because now everybody could, have access to information on their own.
Yeah.
And then they start doing, I mean, how do they even tell everybody? I guess they started printing it, and then they go, here's this piece of paper.
Yeah.
And he goes,
like,
well,
how'd you
what?
get that?
He goes, how'd you get this? He goes, well, the instructions are on there. You think that's what they did at first? The first thing they printed was the instructions on how to make
Another one?
Why would that not be there? The first thing they should have made. What was the first thing printed? Should have been the instructions of the printing press. Just so we can have them down. What if someone knocks off the guy that goes, I know how to do it, and he's the only guy that knows how to make it, and he's like printing hello on it, and you're like, no, dummy, put the instructions, and then what if he never puts the instructions?
Then we're done.
Then we're done.
Then there's still one Holy Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So maybe it would have been
be happy.
good. Yeah. Do you think podcasting is the printing press of spoken word in a way?
I mean, probably not, but
I mean,
what we're doing is changing.
I'm not talking about
History.
our podcast specifically, but I'm saying
Gout.
there's a revolution of spoken word in the last 10 years or so from podcasting in the same way that there is.
I think
from the
I think
printing press.
media is changing with as far as like your idea of the same way the same way the media is changing, where now people are listening to stuff online. Like, no one's watching like mainstream news as much anymore. Like, all the channels are really being affected by that. And so there's all these different, you can find like independent, and a lot of people that worked at these big things, a lot of people from New York Times, all this stuff, then go do more independent stuff because they can straight get to you with their, like, if you're like, I like this guy, but I don't need him to have some guy tell me can't say what he's going to say. And so, there's ways for them to get information. I think it's expanding what everybody thinks about stuff, which is what this would have done. It broke up all the just like, hey, here's this one thing. This is the only thought. Into now, I mean, look at all the religions that broke off of it.
Yeah.
And all this new stuff that started. And so I think that there's that. So, kind of, I guess. Is that what you mean?
That's fair.
I feel like no, is that not?
That is what I meant. That's what I'm talking about.
I feel like Will Ferrell after
I'm just
old
saying,
school when he says all the answers, and I'm like, man, I don't know what happened.
No.
I blacked out.
No, we were talking about the same. I mean,
the radio, I would think maybe.
Well, 20 years ago, you can't listen to on demand somebody talk for something about 3 hours about something.
Yeah.
And now you can because of it. So that's
Wait, is that not right? Did you let me go?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're saying the same. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I said I broke it down.
That's what you did.
You asked a question, I answered it. And then now you're acting like I said the wrong answer.
No, I'm not.
Like, you're like, all right.
Well, Brian just still looks skeptical. So I'm just trying to.
He doesn't know what a podcast is.
I thought we were on the radio. What station's this on?
55 degrees, partly cloudy. 219. Go ahead, Brian.
I've never seen this podcast because Nate said I didn't get that channel.
4.5.
Telephone invented by Alexander Graham Bell. It allowed us to communicate all over the world. It was called the electrical speech machine when it was first invented. When Bell died in 1922, U.S. telephone services stopped for a minute to honor him. I feel sorry for that guy. It was on an important business call.
I know. I'll call you right back. How do they stop it for a minute? It was just everybody.
I just guess they just cut off your service or something.
Yeah. I think it's a big trust. Oh, I guess, because back then, and then so you'd have to call and like, hello, I'd like to talk to Aaron. And then she goes, Sarah,
Yeah.
That's Andy
Andy
Griffith.
Yeah, right.
Sarah, can I get
Aunt B.
Think how crazy
And-
that must have been, though, to be able to communicate and hear someone's voice from far away.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like seeing FaceTime for the first time. Be seeing that.
Yeah.
Is that not? Were you not blown away?
I
Nothing?
remember I was blown away for a while. It's funny how quickly you get unimpressed with things.
Yeah, but you got to remember, it's just like that. It's that exact same thing. You're seeing someone's face. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and it's not a delay.
Yeah.
And it's, my daughter's FaceTiming with her cousin Maya, this Harper and Maya are both just playing a video game as they FaceTime each other
Yeah.
in two different places. That's pretty wild.
It is crazy, but how quickly before you're no longer even thinking about how crazy it is?
Yeah,
Like,
I
pretty
try to
quickly,
remind
right?
myself a lot.
Yeah, you try to appreciate
But I
it
think
as it's happening. Yeah.
I'm the greatest average American. That's I always try to remember. You try to remember to go, yeah, this is crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm saying I do it every time, but every now and again you got to go, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've talked about on this, but like TiVo was. I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I just couldn't understand it. I didn't. What do you mean? Where is this going?
Mhm.
How are you you can pause a live television show?
Yeah.
How? None of that made sense. It did not make sense. I can record it. I don't have to wait. I mean, now you're not watching anything live. That's crazy. You're just fast forwarding all these commercials. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I'll do a couple more here. The light bulb. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, which basically led to electricity, which changed everything because before then people would go to bed as soon as it got dark, and they would have different sleep patterns because they couldn't sleep for that long. But once the light bulb invented, people started going to bed and sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night.
Wow.
So we usually get 12 hours. You just almost get 12 hours of sleep.
Or people were getting up during the night, they said.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you could argue that was a bad invention. People are getting less sleep.
I don't know if you could argue it, but I don't think
I
someone's
could.
going to go, okay. I'll
He just
hear
said
you
they
out."
used to get 12 hours of sleep, and now they're only getting 7 or 8.
I don't
And that's
think
on
you
a
need-
good night.
Yeah, I don't
need
think you
12.
need 12. Yeah.
I mean, imagine,
Maybe.
but imagine what you could do if you did have it.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you know what you do. Don't you sleep 12 hours? I mean, this is what's happened being brought to the table after 12 hours of sleep. I think we can see it.
You zoned out.
Yeah.
It's like where you talking about, when I ate good food, I felt better.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, get 12 hours of sleep every night for a month and see how good you feel.
I mean, you're a comedian. I think what's stopping you from getting 12 hours
I'm
of
not
sleep?
going to say I haven't slept for 12. I'm just saying, but imagine if that were the
Didn't
norm.
you sleep 36 hours or
Yeah.
something?
24?
I slept for 24 hours
Yeah.
once in college, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't do that every day.
Yeah.
Then I'd just be asleep all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know.
The internal combustion engine led to the invention of cars and airplanes, which obviously changed the world in the 20th century. Made the world much smaller now that people could travel. You can travel anywhere in the world now, basically, in a day.
Yeah.
And by boat, as we talked about maybe last week, it would take months to travel from Europe to America.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, it would be a thing. It would be a whole thing to go. You just wouldn't go. You'd have so many people that are not going to go because they're like, I'm just not.
Yeah. Take a month.
A month.
Yeah.
Vaccinations changed everything when they figured out that ways to start vaccinating people for certain diseases made the life expectancy go way up, especially when they invented penicillin, which took care of a lot of infections.
You think people listening to this podcast are like, I feel like I just had a moment where they're like, how dumb is this podcast? Like this is all stuff that like, what is this for? Children? Like if someone just locked in right now and they go, vaccinations was a big deal when they made that, and they're like, what? Of course, like it's the sun is the reason that it gets hot during the day.
I can read more, but I'm trying to keep it on your level. Like
I know.
not
I'm
trying
just
to delve
saying.
down into-
But that's like it's just and like to me, I'm like, yeah, I like hearing all this stuff. But I mean, there's got to be just a lot of people that are just like, what is happening? When the light bulb was invented, people would not go to bed till 8 p.m. and people were like, Ooh, what is, I mean, I'm starting to get on board with half the commenters there.
Meg from
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, Meg's like, yeah, Meg, we are. Yeah. If the light bulb was invented, this podcast would be shorter.
Spoken word was the greatest invention of our time, according to Aaron. Contraceptives.
I mean, I think that's not ridiculous to think.
What? Speaking?
That written word is our greatest invention, our greatest contribution.
I thought it was air conditioning.
What's that?
I thought it was air conditioning.
I mean,
would you go air conditioning and then spoken word?
I did,
and then toilet? Or would you even have toilet up there?
Yeah, it's air conditioning. Language is second, and then toilet's probably fourth or fifth down there.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't even have it.
Not even your top
You're
five.
not even. You don't care. Go in the woods. It just doesn't mean anything. It's not a big deal.
Do you have a toilet?
I do have a toilet. I have indoor plumbing. I like using it.
Yeah.
But I could live
go either way.
I could live without it. I wouldn't like to, but I could.
But you couldn't live without air conditioning.
No,
you only need for
we
2
live.
months.
We live in a part of the country that was you could not live here during the summer before air conditioning. It was miserable.
Yeah,
people did, but
yeah,
there weren't industries down here. There weren't factories because of that. Because it was miserable down here.
We should all do a challenge, and each you gotta go a month without a toilet, without air conditioning.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I have the hardest one by far.
Well, then there's their point.
Yeah.
There's the point.
Well,
that's the point made.
Let's do it. The toilet challenge.
Well, it's winter right now, so you can go without AC for a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's wait till July and we'll do this.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, don't go
use
it. Don't have a toilet in July and then you gotta go outside I mean, just you walk back in the house like a mess. Just a wild mess.
When do you get married?
I get married at the end of May. Yeah.
I mean, let's do it in May.
That would be the end of that. Just to come in and where have you been? You've been gone for like 4 hours. You're like, oh good. And I hike over 4 highways before I felt comfortable.
Then we'll do the Krispy Kreme challenge.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You might want to plug you up a little bit.
You might have me convinced about the toilet. That might be. I'm just thinking about it. That might be more important.
You jump in the pool. You jump in the water.
Instead of a toilet?
No, I'm just saying
instead of AC to keep going. I was gonna say.
Well, instead of AC, your pools are waters are gonna be I think that's where people went.
Does Planet Fitness have a pool?
I haven't been in there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in there, man.
Contraceptives drastically reduce the average number of children born throughout countries.
Baby killer Bates is back at it again.
Here we go.
Baby genocide. Yeah. With fewer mouths to feed, modern families have achieved higher standards of living and can provide better for each child. On the global scale, it's leveled off the population in overpopulated countries.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Catholic Church is against that as well, right?
What, birth control?
Yeah.
They use natural family planning.
Yeah.
Okay. So no.
The internet. The internet was invented in the 1960s. Believe it or not, by
Al Gore.
No, by computer scientist Lawrence Roberts.
Why did Al Gore say he invented the internet?
Wasn't he responsible for bringing it to the forefront? Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, you think he ever goes, I never said I actually invented it. He's like said something else and we're like, nah, you know what you mean.
He may have. Yeah.
Like one of those where you're like, nah, you know what you mean, right? Yeah. You said you invented it. He's like, I had a lot to do with it. I don't think I should be glossed over.
Look, I was in the room.
I was in the room. I sold it. Sold it to everybody.
All right, let's move to some darn
the internet I don't get.
How it works.
Just how it works.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Like where's all this stuff at?
Not really, man.
No.
I don't really understand how it works. I think it's
how many satellites?
It's not a simple idea.
Yeah.
I mean, internet is interconnected. We're all the computers are connected to each other. And,
do you think there's some stuff that there's people that are like, yeah, we just don't know how that? It's just kind of like they're like, we stumbled upon it. Some reason it works. We just don't ask.
It's right. Yeah.
Penicillin's like that.
Yeah. Let me go back to that. I thought that's when you were calling it the dumbest show ever. So I moved on.
Yeah.
But yeah, penicillin. Well, I can't find it now. But basically, he left out something and it started molding. And he realized that it killed the bacteria in it, and it worked as an antibacterial.
Yeah.
And so they don't
Just
know
lucked
why.
out.
They're just kind of like, yeah.
Well, they
just
may know
like-
why now,
yeah,
but he wasn't
yeah,
even trying to do that. He was
Yeah.
just trying to do other stuff, and he left his
Yeah.
lunch out, and next thing
The
you know, we have
internet's got to
penicillin.
be the most complicated invention we have.
Yeah.
Like is the toughest. That's like insane. Because now you're connected to everybody.
That's
You can
pretty
FaceTime
wild.
someone in, Australia right now.
Uh-huh.
You could FaceTime them.
Yeah.
They're hearing this. They're watching it. Like it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I have no idea how it works.
It's like gravity. Nobody really knows what gravity is.
Yeah.
or it exists.
All right.
It is proven that it exists, right? Didn't they just recently? All right.
The Higgs boson thing.
They did something where they detected gravitational waves for the first time. Fairly, we can. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah.
So the internet in the 1960s, a team.
That's finally someone's listening now. They're going. I mean, they're finally. We'll talk about something smart. They're like, all right, we're sorry about everybody, and then we get back to just
Planes make us go
noise.
faster. It's okay.
Planes can get above clouds. I go, ooh, they can. Wow, how the hot air balloon was. Gravity was solved. You're about to explain gravity to people. That the guy's like, I'd love to hear his take on what gravity is. The pencil. The pencil was almost not invented because the guy poked himself with it. And people, I mean, just like
There's gonna be a lot of comments this week saying Meg was right. I apologize. All right, stuff in our lifetime. Caller ID. A guy in Huntsville, Alabama, invented the first caller ID.
Really?
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I remember it coming along. Caller ID. Like, yeah, you remember it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It
I
goes
was.
ring. Yeah.
I don't remember life
Did you
without
answer? Would you always speak into the box on the wall when you answered the phone? Did you ever? Do you go hello,
it.
and then you covered it? Mom.
I never had a rotary phone. Or
I was about to
anything.
ask you if you did.
Yeah, we did. We had a rotary, but I remember caller ID coming, and it was kind of crazy. But I still think that's a thing. Like you're going to end up creating stuff that gets too, people talk about like the family a lot and families, and there's a lot of stuff that's getting taken away now that's separating everybody that I don't think's good. I think calling a house and you had to ask who you wanted to talk to is kind of like that's a big thing that kind of keeps a family very connected.
Yeah.
It's a very simple, dumb thing, but everybody's separated now. You got your own your own phone. So your wife and your no one's ever calling, speaking to both of us. Harper eventually will get a phone one day.
Mhm.
Now all of her people are not. They would be like, I've never spoken to your dad.
Mhm.
I don't know who your parents are. Are you both your parents there?
Mhm.
Like that's like that kind of stuff is like it's a weirdly little things that are like that kind of that's kind of ruining stuff.
Yeah.
But it's great. Not saying you don't want to give it away, but
Yeah.
caller ID, and I mean, not knowing who it is, just hello, who is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Weber resonance. May I ask who's calling?
yeah,
So,
that's what y'all would
yeah,
say.
that's
Y'all
what
would say that. Yeah, of course
Seinfeld
you
had
would.
that funny joke.
I mean, y'all didn't go hello. My family's hello, and you're like,
Nate's a kid just answered. He goes, yeah.
yeah, talking.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
I don't know if we said that, but we
I'm
had
sure
something
you
where
did.
y'all had to see,
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was
Seinfeld
it?
has that funny joke.
Did
where
your
he's-
butler do it? Did you? Did he?
My parents were teachers, dude.
Oh, that's right.
There's a
They-
Netflix documentary on it.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's a good. Yeah. Hello, Weber residents. Yes, I would like to speak to your father. Oh, yes. just for that. Papa.
He's debating
May-
someone right
May I
now.
ask who is speaking? Just an adjunct professor. I was driving through town, and I would love to come speak and debate things about gravity and all the words that. What are the other words you say? The flip sides of things. I would like to talk about
Jermaine.
Jermaine. I would like to not be Jermaine on your time. And then they go, "Oh no,
Looking at your Gregorian calendar.
That's not what your maid means.
What
at
day
all.
What day would you want to come over? Let me look at my Gregorian. What calendar, sir? May I ask you? We'd like to have you over. What calendar are you using? And I'll give you the appropriate date. I'm an Eastland calendar man. Oh, wow. Okay, come over on the Tuesday. It's a new name of a date.
Soul.
Oh, that's fair.
All right, that's fair. The DVD, 1996. Now we're getting into your lifetime.
That's right.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
Or do you remember VHS tapes?
I remember getting VHS from Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually we got a DVD player.
See, I know it's like little things, and so maybe I'm not wrapping my head around it, but going to Blockbuster and having to like look for a movie, you'd be in there for 2 hours. Like just going through and being like, that was fun. That was like time. Great.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff is that was like your friends, you and your buddies would, when you first drive and you're like 16, you go up there and y'all go try to rent a movie and you're up there for 2 hours. And I mean, there's girls up there, there's, and that was all that stuff is, I think, builds into character as an adult. And like that stuff is getting taken away. To be now, it's all just you're alone and you're, it's just talking on the internet right there. Yeah. You don't need anything. Like that kind of stuff is, yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Making a good point now, huh? After the first thing I say, you attack. Finally making some sense. Some bombs are hitting a little bit closer to home. You know what I mean?
Bluetooth.
Oh.
Been in 1999, but didn't get big till the 2000s. It was named after 10th century Denmark king Harald Bluetooth Gorsman.
There's nothing goes Bluetooth because it's a stupid name. Yeah, you'll see. One day. Everybody's going to be saying it. Who would say Bluetooth?
You looking him up?
He invented Bluetooth?
No, it's just
they just named
it after him. This is there he is. This is the
Harald Bluetooth. He was what was he? He was a king?
Yeah, of Denmark.
Harold. He had a king named Harold. Does that feel very king name?
A Pope Gregory and a King
Pope
Harold.
Gregory, yeah. You think you're going to go over there and be like, would you like to meet a Pope and a king? You're like, oh, I would. Who is it? Pope Gregory and King Harold? You're like, I don't know, man.
But he goes by Bluetooth.
Yeah. No, it's King Harold Bluetooth and Pope Greg. I don't know, dude. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm just kind of slammed right now with just stuff. They're probably not going to both be there that long anyway,
This week's the 20-year anniversary of Wikipedia.
No. It's always right. People all over the internet can put stuff on there, so you know it's right. Michael Scott.
Most of the stuff I get for this is from Wikipedia.
Take 100. You miss every shot. What's that thing?
The Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, you miss every shot.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
That's so funny.
Facebook came out in 2004.
Wikipedia is is that the WikiLeaks and Wikipedia that's together?
No, I think wiki is just a computer term that may be for information.
Oh, I always thought they had something to do with each other.
Every time I hear something is wiki something,
yeah,
it's like where users can contribute to it, and it's like a database that's curated and run by
so that's what wiki
that's
means.
what I think it means.
Yeah. I hope
if only I had a device to look it up.
Well, if you go to Wikipedia, it's going to definitely tell you whatever you want it to tell you.
I'd look up the Wikipedia.
Yeah,
a website that allows collaborative editing of its content. So it's like wiki. If there's like the Office wiki.
Yeah.
I
always just assume WikiLeaks and Wikipedia had. If you had a gun to my head, said who invented Wikipedia, would have said Julian Assange. Would have just said Julian Assange, I think, did it. He had a big part in it.
Yeah.
There's actually another guy in Huntsville. Huntsville's killing it.
NASA's there.
Yeah.
And my wife.
Facebook, 28%
she left
of the world
me.
now is on Facebook.
Moved back to Huntsville. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah.
The first iPhone came out in 2007. Steve Jobs made a prank call order of 4,000 lattes to a nearby Starbucks.
That was the first call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember that.
And then
I watched that live.
Really? So you knew it was coming.
Keynote. Yeah.
He called he was doing a keynote and then
He showed it was the first time I remember being amazed by a piece of technology.
Mm-hmm.
When he scrolled on the iPhone for the first time, just on the screen, I remember gasping.
Not
I was
air
watching it
conditioning?
with my sister. Yeah, I grew up with air conditioning.
Yeah.
I remember. You probably remember getting it, but I grew up with it.
So when you saw that, you go,
I
you
did.
gasped.
I mean, it was unlike anything you'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's touching a screen
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
flipping it up.
I don't know, like gasping, like you've seen it. I mean, like you're watching.
What? Just nothing impresses you? You just go.
I don't know if I'm gonna be
FaceTime?
sitting. You're watching on a television at home. You're not watching Houdini in a town square in the 1800s. You tell me as a 10-year-old Aaron Weber in your living room, you go, oh, he scrolled on the screen, and your family came running in.
If you watch you can watch the video of that. The crowd gasps as it happens.
I mean, maybe in the room, and like I get, but you're saying in your living room on your television.
How old were you?
When did this happen?
2007.
2007.
16?
Yeah, 15, when they 15, 16.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
What's the matter? What's the matter? Are you gasping? Another grown man on TV scrolling. I'm not saying I'm not wowed by things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm gasping. I don't know if I've gasped at anything.
You've never gasped?
I don't think so.
I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't.
Oh,
it wasn't
God.
embarrassing. It was
What
just like
was that?
I was just like, oh wow,
Wow. Mama. You said they ain't gonna do it, but they did it, Mama. He's swiping on the screen. Did you start swiping on your TV and just go, is it gonna move? That's how you change the channel on your TV. You just started like rubbing on the screen.
Papa, get in here.
What did you used to think the TVs were? Are they in the box? Is that mystical man? Is this when you learned that they didn't live in the box?
I thought that they were dying. They were really dying in the shows.
On
Yeah,
the
we've
shows.
covered that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
That's what I
that's a
thought.
callback as well. I know we covered
Uh-huh.
it. That's what I was trying to do, a callback.
All right. Usually don't remember that stuff.
That's why I asked, because I was trying to keep making fun of it.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't bringing it back up to go, let's get into that again. You really shut it off going, yeah, we've already covered that.
You just usually never remember anything we talk
Go
about on
and
the
tell us,
show.
when were vaccines invented again? Let's go through that again. What's aspirin do? Makes your headache go away. Oh, the cotton in the aspirin they put in was
Cotton
made,
gin, another important invention.
Oh, the cotton gin.
300,000 patents are issued in the U.S. each year, which is just over only 50% are approved.
It's over 299,000.
Just
That's
a
what I
little
thought.
bit
Just a little bit over.
Yeah.
Here's some current inventions that have recently come out. The Peo Fit. This was invented in Japan. It's to exercise your face muscles. There it is right there.
Yeah. Facial fitness.
Like a shea weight. Oh, that's stupid.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
gonna take
like we're
off.
getting it's so you put this thing in your mouth and you shake it, or it shakes and it helps your face. and your
Yeah,
muscles.
it tightens your.
We are. I mean, that's a group of people that they took that. I'll bet they took the picture before they did this.
Training is super easy. Look.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, it's people that are listening at home. You put a thing in your mouth and it stretches out like wings, and you shake your head up and down, and it's like a shake weight that kind of does.
It's like a shake weight for your mouth.
Yeah,
kinda.
basically.
There's no. I mean, there's stuff like it's getting too complicated. We're almost trying to make everything too perfect, and that's like messing everything up. Everything's too perfect. There's nothing can be flawed anymore. You can't. If you say something wrong, everybody attacks the one word you say wrong. Like, why'd you say that word wrong? Like it's
94%. Look at that pie graph. 94% approved of it.
Yeah, but that's what he said earlier. Yeah,
You're saying we shouldn't care about these muscles on your face. It's like, come on, dude.
Well, you're now getting to just instead of going like, hey, you know what? I'd be happier with this commercial going, you know what? I can't even believe that, but the world is so good that now we can start working on these muscles in
Right.
our face.
Yeah.
Because we have so much stuff for the other thing. Like to do that instead of being like, hey, you tired of your face being stupid? And then they go, no, I guess maybe. And then that's how like women with like Botox and that kind of stuff, they get in this, because they think, I got to do it. And every time you go, they're like, you see that? And they point it out that you go, yeah, I do need to get that fixed. And then you just start getting fixed and it gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
That's why you see women that look insane. And even men that go do it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to just write out. What's funny is women don't know that they something to do. You're more attracted. Just normal, natural is like way prettier.
I agree.
I always like my wife with no makeup.
Yeah.
Anytime I would say, she looks the best to me. Like it's just when she always says, "Well, I look terrible."
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a caveman. You know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some failed inventions on that line. The Readomatic was invented. The robot Readomatic, invented in 1963, was meant to help slow readers improve their pace by revealing one line of text at a time. A mechanical plate would slide down the page. I probably didn't send that one to you.
Okay.
Mechanical plate would slide down the page, letting you know where to read in order to make a certain pace. Problem was the device was too loud, and the metal plate would scrape against the page like a chalk on a chalkboard.
So what's the point of this?
That's not it. It's to help people who are slow readers who
to let you know
one line at a time, and then it would just move down a metal plate.
So it's trying to speed you up.
Yeah, help you read better.
Yeah, I could use that. I read slow. I try to read. I've been trying to read faster, where you just kind of breeze down the page and just gather the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's a lot of talking now. You ever read an article and they start the article off with just like, "What are you doing?" You know, it's like, "Well, this day," and you can skip the first 4 paragraphs are just nothing, and then it's like, "Here's the thing I wanted to go." But sometimes I do that, and then I'm like, "I bet that top part was important," and then I have to go back.
You heard that Brian Regan bit where he's, I just got a speed reading. I read like 48,000 words a minute.
Yeah.
But my comprehension plummeted.
Yeah. I try. Yeah. I mean, I'll like, you ever just sit and you go, "All right, what are you watching something?" You're like, "I want to hear what that person said." Now you have to, and I'll like back it up and I'm like, "All right, what is he saying?" And then you try to, but then your brain just kind of goes in another place and then you got to do it again, you know, and you can because of TiVo.
Yeah.
Don't know how it's working, but
you need a Readomatic, man.
Readomatic doesn't, so it's just training you.
Yeah, I saw there was one on eBay for like $40. I mean, it came out in the 60s, but it's just like a metal bar that came down and helped you like move one line at a time. I think it's the Readomatic.
The panic of just knowing that it's about to go.
Yeah, like if you're not there yet.
Nah.
I mean, is paper going to just be gone though? Isn't paper going to be gone soon?
They're printing a lot less paper now.
Yeah,
so everything's digital.
The printing press thing is to be this giant thing, and now it's just going to be.
It's not very impressive now, is it?
Now it's not like, "Hey, I've been in a printing press." You're like,
dude, honestly, killing a lot of trees.
Yeah.
The phone answering robot. This was a failed experiment. The 1964 phone answering robot didn't work very well. It could pick up the phone and put the phone back down, but it couldn't answer the phone or even, you'll leave a message. There's a photo of it.
Oh.
So why would you want this?
I think maybe it would just hand it to you.
You go, "Hello." So the whole, like the phone's picked up and then you're just kind of, you're going, "Hello." No, I'm gonna, hold on. He's going to give it to me in a second. Hold on. He's just a little slow. Hold on. Hey, sorry, but then hold on.
He's taking it back.
No, come here. Get it back. No, you just having to talk to this robot. There's no reason for it. There had to be a guy that was like, "Yeah, dude, this is like," you know what I mean? Like he's just in his head, like, this is what we.
Why does it have to look like a person?
Well, back then they thought that's what
because the person made it.
It
I
could
would imagine
it could just be an arm though, if that's all it's doing, right?
He thought it was going to be cool, but it kind of backfired.
So basically, his idea is you're sitting on the couch. Phone rings, you're like, I gotta get up, and then it's like, bah, bah, and then the robot walks over and gets it, and then brings you the phone.
No, it didn't even do that. It just stood by the phone.
But that was probably the idea.
Maybe, yeah.
That was maybe the idea.
Yeah.
And then someone goes, "What about a longer cord?" He's like, "Dude, I'm sorry, dude, just do the robot. Don't be ridiculous. What are you gonna make? You have cords laying everywhere. We have a 400-pound robot walking around your house. Just answer the phone." And then that's how it doesn't get anywhere because the guy didn't commit.
Yeah.
His partner said, "What about long cords?" And kind of blew his whole world up.
Yeah.
What about 2 phones?
Yeah.
How much is a robot gonna cost? $80,000.
Yeah, a lot.
Just the Vanderbilts have it. And the robot hands the phone to their butler, and then hands him the phone, and then they're going, "Oh, it's kind of fun, right?" You're like, "Yeah, yeah."
The exact same time, the cat mew machine came along. This is invented in Japan. It was a Japanese machine that meowed 10 times per minute to scare away rats and mice, and the eyes lit up, but it did not work, and rats and mice actually increased.
They're rats and mice. I think they just figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, once it's on, like, they get it, and then they're like, yeah, it's like a scarecrow. I
Yeah.
think people see through these crows, see through these scarecrows. They're usually on them.
We just put
Yeah.
out a fake owl to try to scare away squirrels from our house and
Yeah.
the deck and stuff. It didn't
Doesn't work.
No.
They're
Yeah.
getting too smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Squirrels might already have a printing press invented. You think these other animals start inventing stuff? Where are they at? You know, you think squirrels
Yeah.
squirrels have invented stuff? They can fall from wherever.
Has an animal invented anything? It might be a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
But are like apes using?
This is where
Do they use
they're
tools?
gonna put clips from this episode as a strong debate of why the internet should be shut down. It's just it's just gonna be here. Like, vaccines helped save lives. Like, obviously, right? Now watch this part. Did animals invent anything ever? And then they go, see what's happening here? That guy went to Notre Dame. And then it's back to me just reading. I'm just sitting here just like, I cannot express.
Okay, you answer. So
Look at
apes will use.
We have
stone
no
tools.
idea. Animals invented something.
Well, they didn't. They know how to. Some apes, some chimps know how to use stone tools to
Okay.
break up food and stuff.
Okay, that's all.
Type it into the magic machine. Did an animal invent anything? Ask
I
it.
don't like the way I framed that question. I need to back up. I mean,
I don't know how else you would say it. Were any inventions made by animals? By mammals? You would rather say mammals. Mammals sounds better.
Yeah.
That sounds.
'Cause
You
we're a
think
mammal.
Were mammals invented anything? Well, they've invented a lot of things. 'Cause we're mammals, you idiot. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, not us. Animals?
this article says, "Did animals invent music?" I'll have to give that
Or
a
even,
read.
yeah, the
Yeah, give
early
that a read.
humans.
I'll give that a read later.
You ever seen an article that tells you how long the read is? Like a 5-minute read.
I appreciate when they do that, though.
Yeah.
You know, it'll let you know.
I get out.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure.
You find it
to-
accurate?
I usually don't. If you're telling me, you're being pretty presumptuous if you think 5-minute read. I go, yeah. Well, it's a 1 second click away. Out.
The sewing machine bicycle.
Oh wow.
In 1939, an inventor in Chicago created a bicycle for a family of 4, all that could ride together, and the mom could even keep sewing.
Dude, that's so funny. That's the idea.
Look how happy they are.
Where we're at now with women's rights, and just to be,
Look at
you
her.
tired of wanting to go ride a bike with your family, but your wife stops working? Why come up with an idea? You know what I mean? And then the guys are like, "That's unbelievable, dude. That's so she can keep sewing and do her woman stuff while you guys have fun." You're exactly like, "What about a kitchen?" You're like, right?
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean?
Oh,
We're gonna put a kitchen on
so
there.
great, man.
And then she's like, "Yeah, this is what I love."
oh, man. Poor lady.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It did not take off. Mm.
Mhm.
All right.
Did they just think to, you know?
They're just trying to get famous
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff didn't work out.
Yeah.
It was 1939.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't think I sent you this one, but the baby cage. So in 1884, there are photos of this.
Yeah.
Dr. Luther Emmett Holt said in a book that babies need to be aired. The thinking was that part of the process to toughen up babies and make them better able to withstand common colds was to expose them to cold temperatures outside or through cold water bathing, which would grant them a certain immunity. So people who lived in big cities like New York and London didn't have yards, started putting their babies in these cages that hung outside the window.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of this just randomly,
This is a real thing.
Yeah.
It happened for a while. Eleanor Roosevelt did this.
To his kids? Or they had it done to him?
Well, she put her baby.
Before I was just thinking of like I didn't even listen to that first name. I mean, I wasn't even. Yeah, I wasn't even.
It's like one of the most famous women ever.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that first name.
She did it to her baby before she was First Lady of the United States.
Okay.
Yeah,
and when she lived in New York, a lot of people did this. And,
yeah,
and then it was very popular.
well,
but
she wasn't that smart.
You're right.
What was wrong with it?
Well, they were
The
hiding,
baby.
Did people die? Did
they were like 30 stories high and putting their baby outside
On
the
a
window.
window.
On a cage.
I mean, I understand.
So I don't see
what's
the problem. I don't understand.
I understand how it could go wrong. Did these fall and people die? And
people complained about it, and then when World War II started in London, there's a war going on there. They started bringing their babies in from outside.
that's bad. Yeah, if there's a war going on, maybe bring them
With the
inside.
bombs dropping and stuff is just a lot.
In New York, it said because of the rise of urban automobile traffic, the smog started. It's kind of hard on the babies.
Yeah,
but if you live in a nice, clean suburban neighborhood,
put your baby in a cage out the window.
Yeah,
we would we'd put Harper in the front yard, let her sleep, and then just figured she should be able to survive amongst the other animals. And that's how we raised her. We were not animals, so we didn't do it in a cage. Obviously, we let her roam. We believe in free range stuff, so we would toss her in the front yard and just every morning go, she's still here. Yeah. Did you see some guy writing an article about that though?
Oh yeah,
that's what it is. It's like then it's people reading. Oh wow, yeah.
Oh,
that's
the
what
book
you should be doing. Yeah,
yeah.
And it's like you're like, oh, that's what you should be doing. You're like, that makes sense because it's the idea of it. You see it, and then you end up having. I mean,
gets out of control.
It gets out of control. Like they want to talk about like, and I do get the idea. People are putting babies in cages out their window. What if a cage? I don't know if a cage broke.
I mean, it's like an air conditioner. I mean, it's probably not going to fall, but it could.
I'll tell you what, I would have to have somebody come in and professionally install that.
Yeah.
Because I would not trust my ability to set that thing up properly.
I mean, can you imagine just walking down New York and you just see like babies crying and you're like, oh.
I mean, I saw a picture of one crawling in the cage and
with just
oh really?
Yeah, with just pigeons on top of the cages.
I didn't think
like
about
that one right there, the bold and beautiful baby. I mean, that's or that 1930s outdoor baby one right there. You can see
this one is just hanging loose.
Yeah.
Like this was in New York. I mean, you think if you went to Ohio during this time, they're like, they're doing what?
Yeah.
Like that's how that's why I would want to travel to New York to go do this babies in cages at the window, and I'd be like, well, I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to go see this. And then that's why I would probably have missed the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Because I would have been just looking at all the people hanging babies in the cages, just walking down. Did you see the Empire State Building? You're like, I don't know.
No.
It's hard to get past the babies hanging in cages.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's like Planet of the Apes stuff.
I remember when Michael Jackson put his baby out a window for a few seconds.
Blanket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people freaked out.
The baby is named Blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. People got, well, that was, I would rather that baby been in a cage than the way he dangled that baby out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was he kind of just brought like, huh? What do you guys want? You're like, he doesn't. What? We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. And by that I mean naming the kid Blanket.
Yeah, that's the real
I'm fine with
tragedy.
the dangling.
Of it all.
Actually, the Blanket name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Why did he do that? He was trying to be funny.
Showing them to the paparazzi.
Yeah, it was paparazzi just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about all-time bomb of a joke. I mean, we're still talking about it. This was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so, he doesn't know. That's celebrities holding babies. I love it. Did I talk about that on this? Like I might have said it on stage. If you ever just that's the funniest thing to me is watch, you especially see it now on Instagram because you see people at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can really tell when like someone's a real mom or dad versus not, and like you see them hold a baby, and like I've seen a picture of like The Rock holding his kid. He's got the babies like on his hip, like it's clearly like he doesn't know how to like hold this baby, like you know,
It's
and
too
so
light.
yeah, like you see, I mean the Gretzky's, like they're Dustin Johnson and his wife Paula or girlfriend, fiance, whatever, Paulina Gretzky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean after US Open, you just saw him walk up with the baby with both of them. You're like, someone grab those. You're like, just someone get those babies. Like they do not, you know. It's just like, oh yeah, like it's it's like if I handed you a baby.
Yeah.
Right now, you'd be like, "Oh, thank you,"
right.
Because they have
great.
nannies and they don't even know how to do it.
Yes, because I think they have nannies and they're just not, they're not. It's not real. They're not doing real family stuff, which is,
Yeah.
like so. It's like they're not having to be real parents. I mean,
Yeah.
you can afford. I mean, you probably have multiple nannies, and you just have, they're. I mean, they have New York City would be. You'd see all kinds of nannies walking kids. I mean, they basically some of them will put the kid to bed. They get they're their full-time nanny,
Mm-hmm.
which is I get. Like if you're busy, like I get it,
Yeah.
But it's very funny to see them in action.
Yeah.
In 1896, the first person was hit and killed by a car, and so then the car makers started trying to come up with ways to prevent pedestrian accidents. So a couple of car companies came up with the car walker catcher. And it was a pedestrian safety device. I think I sent these to you, right?
Yeah.
It was first introduced to the public in Germany. They had two different types that would put a net on the front of the car, and if someone's walking, it was supposed to catch them.
Okay.
And that
it's basically a huge hammock.
they eventually just gave up on this because people are dying, or I mean, just gigantic numbers.
Yeah.
Like that, they're not getting hit by cars, but they're,
And what ended up happening was this thing would block the driver's sight, so they couldn't even see where they were going. So there's an example. This was going to be really funny, but
so it kind of if you just get hit by the car, it just kind of scoops you up.
It's got a net.
Yeah.
Oh, just kind of basically scoops you up, and
I mean, that's awesome.
It's not that bad. I mean, they have, and you ever see now there's a lot more. They're filming people. I feel like Russia does it.
What?
Their cars have the video because they always catch like so much crazy stuff on it. So that's it's not helping, but it's like stopping a lot of or these fake crimes or something. Or
this one, it's a device that it's not on there all the time. This is 10 years later. You push a button, almost like an airbag. That when you see someone walking down the street, it's too bad this isn't playing, but it's push a button and it pops out like an airbag if you see someone walking.
But you got to push the button.
The driver, like right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Guy's still reading. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's fine.
Wow.
He's fine.
Now this is probably when these cars could go 18 miles an hour max.
And
right?
do you think you got to help the guy fold that back down? Like, because it pops open, like if an airbag comes out, it's like a whole thing. So you think you then got to go, you just keep going. And you're like, hey, man, I saved your life. You think you could?
I think it's a courtesy.
Fold it back under.
Come on, help me get this back up on the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the nice thing to do.
You got it. He goes, I got it. And then it's 2 feet. And then Tyler has to do it again. And then you're like, I'm going to just leave it open. Because it's like, I'm just railing people. Because no one knows how to look for this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just walking out the street. That happens in New York where people get hit because you just don't think about it. You don't think about, I think when I drive here, when you're driving, you don't think to look for a pedestrian. I mean, you don't, you're not like, oh, people are walking. Like, so you make a turn, you're like, thank God no one was walking, dude. I wasn't looking at all. I mean, I wasn't crazy. Yeah. But now we have so much technology in these cars.
Yeah.
I
think it's going to be,
we'll sense it.
Airbags. Yeah, they can tell.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a guy up here.
Yeah.
And then you just hear beeps or they stop, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think it's going to be crazy when everybody has self-driving cars. It's just going to be crazy to think we did this on our own at one point.
Will you gasp at it? Will you be driving down the road going,
Honestly, I might, man. I
Yeah.
might do it. That would blow me away
yeah,
to have a self-driving
We
car.
will make fun of ourselves. Like, can you believe we used to do this ourselves?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's so crazy dangerous.
Yeah.
to drive?
Yeah.
We're all doing pretty good.
I mean, we're doing all right,
Yeah,
but
we're doing really good. I mean, you say dangerous is like we're in coal mining.
You just said, I'm so glad I was a pedestrian there because I would have
just
totally
talked
hit
about
them.
like,
I
oh,
know,
man.
but I'm saying, but do I hit them? No, we're doing great. Everybody's doing everybody's doing really good. We're not having this giant problem with this. Like y'all are talking like we got to get rid of us driving.
No, I'm
I'm
saying we're gonna years from now we'll look back and be like, can you believe that we used to let people just drive their own car?
But yeah,
I mean, automobile accidents is still one of the leading cause of death every year.
no, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you want to walk that back a little bit?
No. I don't think I think we're doing great. I mean, overall, I do get that it's a dangerous thing, but I don't think we're sitting here going, we got to put a stop to this. Like
You're right.
You're
You're right.
Heart disease is the number one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart,
It's not the worst, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. If I could have heard, just
go watch that video, dude,
I would've said,
and listen to those people.
if I was sitting there with your dad, I'd say, "What's wrong with your boy? Like, what's he gonna do? Go to college and stuff?" And they go, "Probably. He's probably gonna be in school."
Yeah.
You would be that. You're not gonna be. They're gonna be like, "Is your boy gonna do manual labor?" You're like, he gasped at a. No. What do you think? Are you crazy? He's gasping at the TV. He's rolling his finger up and down it. He thinks he doesn't. What do you think,
dude? This was revolutionary, dude.
I get that it's revolutionary. I'm just sitting at home in Alabama. A young teenage Aaron Weber. Oh, mother, father, come here.
Yeah.
Where were we at when you saw it?
I was watching it on my computer
At home.
with my sister. I remember we watched it.
Mm.
We did call. We were like, Mom, Dad, you got to see this. This thing's unbelievable. And it was like 2 years before I saw one in the wild after that because nobody had them.
Yeah, before you actually and you just see people and you walk up. Is that the new? I agree that the invention's nuts. It's nuts to be touching with your finger and it moves and yeah. I think all that stuff's crazy. TiVo for me was my thing. I don't think I gasped, but I went a long time and I just didn't understand. I didn't understand how people. I would like talk to the person like they invented it.
You remember when you first heard about it? Was it you saw somebody had it at their house?
Yeah, I remember hearing about it and I just was like, I go, what? I just couldn't even. I didn't understand what do you mean that's going to happen? What do you mean your TV's going to stop? Where is it stopping to? Where is it you rewind? Can you ever, is it just, you pause it, you rewind it whenever you can, none of that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I can, I was, I wasn't gasping. It wasn't.
Do you have a good grasp on it now? How it works?
No. I don't know how anything works.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're touching your screen.
Yeah.
Still, I should be gasping more. I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
I just think it is very funny.
It is. Yeah.
To think is a, I mean, just a picture. Oh, holy moly! Did you see that?
Egad! That kind of thing.
What was there a spider in here or something? He just swiped up on the screen with his finger. That was the iPhone 7?
It was the first
iPhone.
No,
2007.
And you could swipe on the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Before that was a flip phone, could no screen touching. Yeah.
Blackberries.
Yeah, the Blackberries were wild.
Not gasping at a Blackberry.
Do I have time? Can I give you all my invention ideas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See if you guys want to invest.
Yeah.
I haven't done any work.
Yeah, I would love it.
I've always wanted these. I want a dishwasher that...
Why are you loving this?
That's just a big box. You don't have to stack it. You don't have to put things on a rack. You just toss everything in.
Yeah.
And it does it.
Yeah, but how's it? But if they're on top of each other, is it going to clean them?
I mean,
that's its job.
All, that's all part of the invention.
That's the invention is it figures it out.
It would handle all that.
Yeah.
because I think I do dishes a
Yeah.
lot. I'd do it a lot more often if I could
Yeah.
just throw everything in there.
Yeah.
I don't have to stack it all.
Yeah.
That's my big invention.
Okay.
If you
Pretty
want to
good.
invest,
Yeah, I mean
Right.
the logistics of it of just
that's gonna be the tough.
that's gonna be a
part.
tough part. I
Got
mean,
a lot of plates breaking if
Yeah.
you're just throwing stuff in there.
Right. I'm more of an idea guy, I think.
Yeah.
But if
I
somebody,
would say put them where the sink is,
yeah.
and you're always just laying them in there as you go along, and eventually that sink closes up and then appears again, and you're like, it's all clean. You know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
it's
even
not its
better.
own separate thing.
You just kind of close up the sink and then
Yeah.
oh,
Then
okay.
it figures it out, and then you wake up the next day.
I like that.
Yeah. And what I think would be happening is someone would be sneaking into your apartment while you sleep and do the dishes and then closing that door back is what I think the invention has to be. So we have to employ a lot of people, and we'd have to they're like, what is going on? And you're like, I don't know. But for some reason, when you buy this dishwasher, you have to give them a key to your house. I never understood that. I never got that. That never made sense to me.
Oh man.
I like it.
Thank you, man. I've always wanted that.
Is there more?
Yeah, I thought there was
I
more.
got others. I got others.
Well, let's hear.
Yeah.
I want a shower that's like a 360 degree, like you walk in like a scanner at the airport, or you just do it and it just knocks you out
Yeah.
in like 10 seconds and then you get out. Just
Yeah.
like a quick.
Just
I
like,
mean, they
like
have-
a hose, like be hosed down real fast, like an elephant. like you want to be the way you look at bathing is as a nightmare. Like it's
Well, so, no,
you have a lot going on that you are. How much time do you think you're wasting in a shower? Is it the idea of?
Well, I'd like these 2 hours back. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
I would too. To be honest, yeah.
But wouldn't it be nice to have the option? Oh, I'd like it just a quick. You walk in.
I need to go real fast. Boom, just
and just power washes you
Yeah.
off.
and it has the
With it.
water and the soap in
It's
it.
got everything.
It's got
dude.
everything
Yeah.
in it. Just like a car wash.
Shampoos your hair. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a car wash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
that'd be nice. You could have a shower like that. That if you just build a shower with a bunch of shower heads on it.
I've been in some of those where they're
Yeah.
straight up and from
Yeah.
the sides.
What about the straight up? Yeah. What if you do that?
Mhm.
And then you don't.
We're
even-
almost there. I'm saying we're almost there.
Yeah, you don't even want to actually have to move your arms. Like you just go and stand. Right. That's the
If
idea.
I could walk in and sit down, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Too.
What's the
That's how
garbage
cold that would be, though.
disposal in the shower?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Kramer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I figured I'm already in there. So why not?
Yeah.
All right. We're about. How many more do you have? You have one more.
I got one more.
All right.
It's an air conditioning unit with
Here we go.
with,
It all comes
with
back.
built-in scents. And you can
Like
adjust.
like smells.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
what
air
that's what a
conditioned,
scent
yeah.
is. Yeah, it's built in. Make the whole house smell good.
Yeah, but that's already. Isn't that kind of?
I
That
think
might be
that's
invented.
done. Yeah.
Show me where that is, dude, and I'll buy it right now.
Well, I know
I
they
haven't seen
have
it.
clips that go on at a car that you put on.
Yeah, I'm talking about for a house.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it would just. I mean, you have potpourri. You have all this stuff.
Yeah, you can do that, but I'm talking about just.
But I mean, I think the commitment to a full house with air conditioning would be you get a headache. Like people can get a headache with that stuff.
yeah,
'cause you can
these are all
smell-
things we need to think about and work on.
I read they tried smell-o-vision at movie theaters where they put out scents for certain
Yeah.
parts of the movies,
Yeah.
and it just didn't work because the next people came in to see the movie. It's just like, what is that?
They get,
smell?
they just walk in. They go. The mother did it. We already just go. Dadgummit,
smell
to
the
ruin the whole
perfume.
movie. They go. God, I just
Yeah.
you just figure it all out.
Yeah,
They do that in some Disney World. They have the Bug's Life
Oh, really?
has
It's like
they
the-
do
the
smells like a
4D
stink bug.
movies.
Yeah. Like it's that stuff for kids. First time we took Harper. They have a thing. I mean, Harper is losing it during this. She was like 5,
Mhm.
and it's like smoke's flying out, all this kind of crazy stuff. And then at the end, they say something like "Let the bugs leave," and then so every seat you just feels like bugs just run under your seat.
Wow.
Man, I mean Harper
That's cool.
could not have jumped up. It's I mean just kids are. I mean she was losing it.
Yeah, she
And
gasped. Even.
She gasped. She gasped, and I go, golly, that was what that reminded me of. First time Aaron saw when you could swipe up on a phone, and she goes, "Oh, Aaron from the podcast." I go, "Yeah." Can you believe that? And she goes, "That's all right." She goes, yeah, it's a good invention, you know? All right.
Some
We'll
good
call this
inventions.
episode Gasp. Inventions, we did it. You guys will be praying we get back to states. As always, everybody, thank you guys for listening and comment. Do all the stuff that you do. We truly appreciate it, and we will talk to you next week. See you.